Joan and Kemikalam had the kind of face that made you pause, not because of overwhelming beauty, but because of the calm, intelligent silence behind her eyes. Her skin was the color of fresh groundnut shells, and her voice, when she did speak, was soft, steady, and thoughtful. She wasn't the loudest in the room, but somehow people listened when she talked. She grew up in Amayekpu, a sleepy village nestled between rolling green hills and red, dusty roads in southeastern Nigeria. The type of place where everyone knows everyone and secrets struggle to stay buried. Her father, Mr. Paul Nkemikolam, was a retired school teacher who still carried his chalk-stained hands like a badge of honor. He believed in discipline and tradition. Joan's mother, Mama Nkichi, sold dried fish and palm oil at the local market and believed in dreams, even if her life hadn't given her the luxury of chasing any. Joan, the second of 3 children and the only girl, had always been different. While other girls dreamt of quick marriages and loud weddings, Joan dreamt of running her own tailoring shop in town. She was gifted with her hands, able to design beautiful native gowns with just a tape, scissors, and her rusty but reliable butterfly sewing machine. At 26, she had not yet married, a delay that bothered her parents more than it did her. "All your mates are in their husband's house, Joan," her mother would say while peeling yam. "I will marry when it is time, Mama. Let me focus on my sewing," she'd reply, always with a smile. But in a village like Amayekpu, when a woman nears 30 unmarried, people begin to talk. Even the local pastor made a not-so-subtle joke during a church service. "Some daughters are still busy cutting cloth while their womb is cutting time." It was in the middle of the rainy season that Obinna arrived in Amayekpu. He didn't come with fanfare, just a shiny, silver Toyota Camry, a confident handshake, and the kind of perfume you could smell before he entered a room. He told people he had moved from Onitsha, that he was in the building material business, and that he wanted peace and a good wife. He rented the old house near the stream and renovated it quickly. New zinc roof, polished floor tiles, even a satellite dish. Before long, he joined the local church, began giving generous offerings, and helped pay for a widow's rent. The village embraced him like a long-lost son. Then he saw Joan. It was at the roadside, where her sewing shed sat between 2 mango trees. She was sitting on a wooden bench, threading her needle when his car stopped in front of her. "You must be Joan," he said, stepping out with a smile. "Who wants to know?" she asked, blinking up at him. "Someone who is ready to pay your bride price in full." She laughed. He came back the next day, and the day after. Soon, he was buying her fabrics, bringing her bread and malt in the mornings, and standing by her roadside shop like a bodyguard in love. It felt too fast. Joan told her best friend, Kioma, "I don't know if I should trust this guy. He came out of nowhere." "Sister, stop forming FBI. God may be answering your mother's fasting." After 3 months, Obinna came with elders, his people from another village, to ask for Joan's hand. He paid the full bride price, over 1.5 million naira, 5 goats, drinks, clothes, jewelry, a motorcycle for Joan's brother, and a gold-plated wristwatch for her father. The village danced. Joan, half nervous, half happy, began preparing to move into Obinna's house. But then, strange things started happening. 2 days after the ceremony, Joan entered Obinna's house without knocking, just to surprise him with his favorite food, yam porridge with smoked fish. She found him in the backyard, burning clothes. When she asked, he jumped, looking startled. "It's just some old things. My enemies are chasing me, Joan. I need to destroy their entry points." He waved it off. The next night, she saw him talking to himself, chanting really, while walking barefoot around the compound. "Obinna, are you okay?" she asked. I'm just praying in my way. Joan tried to ignore it. Maybe it was stress. Maybe he was spiritual in a way she didn't understand. But deep inside, something was whispering. Look closer. They were barely married for 2 weeks when tragedy struck. Joan woke up one morning and found Obinna lying stiff, his mouth slightly open, eyes wide in shock, blood trickling from his nose. She screamed until her voice cracked. Neighbors rushed in. He was confirmed dead on arrival at the clinic. The doctors said it was cardiac arrest, but the villagers had a different conclusion. Joan killed him. She used juju to trap him. His people didn't even know her. There was no love in that marriage, just blood. His so-called relatives arrived in black, wearing frowns like armor. His uncle, Chief Damien, pointed a finger at Joan's father. Return the bride price. We don't want a cursed woman. Joan's family was thrown into confusion. Her mother fainted twice in one day. Her father fell silent and withdrawn. In the confusion, Joan reached out to the one man people still trusted with spiritual matters. Father Udizi, the village priest. Father Udizi was not a typical priest. He believed in prayer, but also in investigation. When he visited Obinna's house, he found nothing personal. No family pictures, no certificates, no village photos, nothing that showed Obinna's roots. He traveled to Onitsha, pretending to buy cement in bulk, and asked questions at the building material market. No one knew Obinna Agu. One elderly man, Felix, finally said, "There was one Obinna. He used to work at the mortuary, but he ran away after he was caught stealing from corpses." The priest returned with this story and confronted Joan. She broke down. He asked her to bring anything Obinna left behind. She brought a brown wallet. Inside was a blood-stained obituary and 20,000 naira wrapped tightly in nylon. The obituary was for Chief Dominic Uba, a wealthy man who died months ago. The money, it seemed, had been stolen from his corpse. The truth spread like wildfire. The man who married Joan used corpse money for her bride price. Suddenly, her family's goats died. Her father fell ill with strange nightmares. Her mother began to talk to herself. The village elders called for a cleansing. Even the pastor who blessed their union came forward. I had a dream the night before their wedding. A man without a face handed me blood. Father Udeze and the Dibia traditional priest led a ritual. Joan was made to confess and burn every item Obinna ever gave her. The gold wristwatch on her father's wrist turned black during the cleansing. Joan didn't hide in shame. Instead, she went on the radio under the name Ngozi and told her story. She warned women, ask questions, investigate. Not all that glitters is clean. Not every bride price is a blessing. Her voice struck a nerve. Letters began pouring in from other women. Stories of sudden deaths, haunting dreams, cursed weddings. Joan began working with women's groups, sharing her experience. She refused to marry again, but she became something greater, a warning, a lesson, a mirror to society. Lessons. 1. Not all love is love. Some are spiritual traps. 2. Investigate before accepting bride price. 3. Money is not neutral. It carries energy. 4. Parents must not rush their daughters into marriages. 5. Silence protects evil. Speaking up saves generations.